Hey folks, Father Son Putik from cgvirus here. Today we're going to work with some dielectric material. We're going to see the application of how to make dielectric materials and also how to implement it in Unreal Engine. Also, we're going to touch on the metallic plus dielectric material and how to combine them, how to work with it. So yeah, let's get started. So first thing first is basically some lectures about dielectric material. In our real world, if we go to our chart, in real world there are very limited amount of pure metallic colors, alright, but dielectric materials are not actually very much limited. It's huge. It's kind of like a jungle. So there will be lot, and more often you will see that in our chart there will be nothing like that. There will not be some kind of base color for your dielectric material. So here comes the thing. What I want to say that this is actually only a reference chart. If you're in a AAA studio, or even some small studios, they have their own material chart. I mean, they have their own color chart, so you can use them. And if you don't have your cultures, then what you need to do is basically eyeball your base colors. So we're going to see how to work with it. So the second thing is basically we're artists, right? So artists are kind of scientists with some emotional and aesthetic attachments. All right, so they break down a fact, they analyze it, and they just exaggerate it. Exaggerate the fact with emotion. So this is kind of my perspective on artists. So what I want to say that don't get rigid, don't get limit with this kind of charts. There are lots of charts you can use. There are lots of charts available in various studios, and they also prefer not to stuck with these things. This is just a guide and reference, so don't rigid yourself. All right. So the third thing is I want to say that VFX industry and game industry has some differences. Game industry works with some high color saturation, high color saturation frequencies. All right, because it is a virtual world and people need to play in it, so it has to be something interesting in color. But in VFX, what we need to do is basically duplicate the color schemes of our environment, of our real footage. So practically environment is not that saturated, it has some balance. So VFX color charts will be definitely different with this kind of game charts. So keep in your mind. So what is my summary is that don't stuck with some color charts or reference chart. Use your eye. Okay, train your eye for something. So all right, so that was our lecture, and now let's get back to the work. All right, so we are back in action. So first of all, I want to say sorry, because I'm recording it in morning and people are screaming, so you will get some noise. Sorry for that. I have nothing to do with it. I usually work at night. Alright, so let's get started. First thing is that we have already painted two materials, two textures here. Let's use that. So we have the semi-transparent alpha, overlapping alpha, and it's very complicated here. So I did it intentionally so we can see something. So let's start with our basics. Let's go there. So we have some we need some base colors for it. So again, it's if you can't find your own color chart here, you can use your eye. All right, so these are our some kind of some common base levels. So someone in YouTube has told me that you can use RGB node for your base color? Of course, yes, we can do it. So I'm searching for something like painting, so let's use gray paint here. Gray painting, this is the 163 made in luminosity, so here we go. So now what we need to do is basically just like previous one, let's use a mix RGB, and this will be our top, this will be at the bottom, there will be our alpha. Here we go. And for the luminosity we are going to use value. So now we can see what is happening. So without value, with value. Okay, now we are getting back our those complicated alphas. So do it like that, you know, just duplicate it, and just like the previous one, color, alpha, and our base color. There we go. Alright, that's it. First thing first, done. Let's save it. Now let's go to again Shift D and let's mix those two. It doesn't matter which one is top, which one is bottom, doesn't matter. So let's use here you can use any mode as a choice, but what I have seen that lighten is working pretty fine here because of these overlapping colors. Quite interesting effect. So it is done. So let's use our dielectric mode here. Let's use color. There we go. So we're getting our color back, and let's plug our normal, and there it is. Just like the previous one, we need some roughness, so let's duplicate this guy, Shift D, and let's go for some roughness. And these roughness values, these are pretty much standard. Use them, use these reference. It doesn't need you know, too much things. So we're going for something like, you know, some sort of glossy something. So let's use something middle of 0.4 to 0.5, something like this. By the way, you can also use your roughness values from here. Will not be a problem. Okay, there we go. So now we're getting our textures, colors, everything. So there are two scenarios, and we are going to talk about it now. So here is one of my old work, Mr. B. So you can see he has two types of material. One is dielectric material and another one is metallic. So in this type of scenario, it is pretty much easy, you know. You can just, you know, if you had some other objects, like, you know, some other objects, you export these dielectric material separately with separate textures, and you could use this metallic material obviously, and you can import it and assign it. But if we are talking about in a same object which will have a dielectric and metallic, that gets complicated. And Unreal has a really cool feature that is called metallic feature, and we're going to use that. And by the way, our dielectric properties, dielectric workflow has already been done. If we use our albedo, we should use this guy as our albedo, we should use this guy as our roughness, and the normal was normal, so everything is pretty much the same here. Alright, so now we're going forward and we are going to take a mix shader. Alright, and here you have to understand that which one should be in top. Well, we paint in metals, so the metal should be in bottom, right? So let's do it like that: metal in bottom and dielectric in top. That's done. So now if we go there, we can already see that it is coming into shape, but it is not perfect, so we're going to do that now. So what we need here is basically we have to combine all of our alphas. Alright, so let's use a mix RGB node from Shift D, duplicate, we need to combine all of our alphas here. It will be a screen, obviously, screen, and the factor should be 1. So if I'm going to see it, you can see everything, if all alphas has been combined. You can also use GIMP for this kind of thing, GIMP, or any kind of 2D manipulation software. Yep. So now let's factor the value here in the mixture, and now we're seeing it. So let's see the difference factor here. So now we're getting our paint back with that thing, and everything is working pretty nicely. Let's zoom it in and let's see the difference. Okay, it is a painted material, it is a metal material. Now it's working perfectly. So let me show you those things first. So now you can manipulate your test. This is a roughness value, we can manipulate it here. If you need more plastic paint, you can use these kind of things. All right, perfect. So that's it. So I think everything is finished, everything is done. So now we're going to bake it just like before, and let's see. Alright, so let's start baking. So we have our dielectric albedo and albedo metallic. Let's mix them together. So let's use Shift A and mix RGB. There we go. So the dielectric material, the paint should be in top, and the albedo, that was the metallic albedo, it will be at the bottom. So if I Ctrl Shift, you can see this. So let's use the alpha factor here. There we go. So this will be our albedo. So we are going to bake it, and what we need to do here is our roughness, right? So we have our roughness here, this guy, and we have our roughness here, this guy. So let's merge them together. Oops, sorry. There we go. It should be at bottom. I'm not sure. Let's see. And it should be at our top, just like those algorithms. All right. So Ctrl Shift. Let's make the factor, and let's use the alpha here as our factor. So what we will get is this. Okay, pretty cool. So this will be our roughness value. Alright, so done. Let's save it. And for metallicity, again we're going to use GIMP, and for normal we have already baked the normal, so everything is done. So let's save these guys here. Image, new image. It will be our new albedo. So let's make it albedo mixed, something like that. It will be a 2K, and it will have the alpha. That's good. Let's use an image here, and let's type in albedo mixed. Thank you. Let's select it, Ctrl Shift. So this is our albedo. Yeah, so let's take care of things. Go here and bake, and I'm coming back. Oh, sorry, and I'm coming back. Albedo is baked. Press F3 to save it, and let's use custom texture albedo mix. There we go. Now let's bake a new image. Let's bake the roughness mixed with alpha. Ctrl Shift, use this roughness mixed, this guy, bake it, and I'm coming back. Roughness done. Press F3, roughness mixed. Thank you. So, and normal is our previous normal, we have baked there. So now we will need another map This one is an extra map. It is the metallic mask map actually for Unreal Engine. This has come from those alphas we merged together to make that alpha. We have used it many places. You can see that. So it is kind of the basis of this. So let's bake this one, and we're going to name it non-metallic map. Alright, it should have alpha. Let's name it here, non-metallic map, and let's bake it. And I'm coming back. Alright, so our non-metallic map is created. Let's save it here. There you go. Yep. So now let's go to GIMP and let's get started with metallicity, which will be pretty much important. By the way, I want to say something about it before approaching forward. Unreal has single material setup which can handle metallicity pretty well, but Blender, in our current setup, we cannot bake we cannot bake one albedo, one roughness, and hook them in a single shader and make that shine. No, we cannot do that. We have to we're using the metallicity type of workflow, but it needs dielectric in a single shader, metallic in a single shader, and a mixed shader with combined. So then it can work. Okay, so here the approach is a little bit different. Alright, so we are in GIMP. I have imported our metallic mask for non-metallic activities, and this one is our previous metallic chart we did with 146.2, right? So what we need to do here is basically, let's go to colors and let's invert it. We will need this black mask. Alright, Control A, Control C, copy and paste it here, Control V, and this is from to new layer. Alright, so now it is similar to Photoshop. Just go to the mode and select multiply, and here we have our non-metallic mask. Okay, these are our non-metallic mask. So now let's save it. Ctrl Shift E. You can see the histogram. It is now has been increased. So what you can do, you can use your histogram. It's not a problem, but I'm not going to, because we can always adjust it in Unreal. So let's use Ctrl Shift E, and this will be our let's see metallic mask PNG. Let's export it. Yep. So we are in Unreal Engine. I have already imported all our materials here. Let's go to the material section and let's get it started. So yeah, oops, okay. So here we will need these and these and the albedo. You don't need them. Yeah, let's import them and let's get it started. So first thing first is let's divide them here. Okay, so it is normal, obviously you should go with normal. This one is albedo. Let's go with albedo, this color. Now this is our roughness. Let's go with roughness. These are done. Now let's go here. This will be our metallic. Let's see. There we go. We have our metallic shader. And also what we need to do here, we need to go there and plug it with specular. So this will be our specular mask as well. So then we will get some painted material, and I told you about eye training, and we're going to work with it. But before that, let's apply it and let's see. Alright, so we get our thing. You can see, let's see first. You can see that our alpha is working actually. It's pretty nice. You can see that it has the specularity, but this has no specularity, so it is working as a dielectric material and it is working as a metallic material. So now I'm going to tweak my material a little bit. That means some value and things like that, and I'm coming back. Alright, so we are back. I have tweaked our material a little bit here. We have used this glossy, that is the metallic map, with a multiplier of 5, hooked it in with metallic, and multiplier of 6, hooked it in a specular. Also, we have taken care of our albedo. I have multiplied it with 0.9 to slightly darken it up a little bit and use the base color here. So what is our result is, so this is our result with Unreal Engine. Very close I think. And this is our result with Blender. This is our low level alpha. It was our low level alpha, and this is our high level alpha. That means the second layer of color, and it doesn't have any specularity, right? So yeah, something like that. Render engines are very much different from one to another. That's why you have to tweak your setup a little bit every now and then. So even from Substance you don't get your instant feedback. So yeah, so this is very common agenda everywhere. So you have to tweak your things because all render engines are separate. Also, what we have done is basically light source. I use some intensity of indirect lighting here, tweaked it a little bit, and also I have used some bluish tint with your sky color, because our HDRI here is basically sky color. So here it is. So that's how you can deal with it. Enjoy, and if you have any feedback, please let me know. And also this could be our end of the tutorial, but I am planning for something advanced. So let's see, maybe afterwards we will get some tools to work with, and that will be awesome, because production needs presets, shortcuts and things like that. So let's see where we can go with it. Yeah, so again, I'm Father Putik from cgvirus, and thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Bye bye.